Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com. I wanted to do a quick, short as possible commentary. I finally got around to finishing watching the HBO miniseries Mare of Easttown that starred Kate Winslet, among others, Guy Pearce. Although Guy Pearce's role is not that critical in the whole plot, but it's really good. You know, I know that it ended in late May, I think, or early June, but I didn't have the access or never got around to watching every episode. I would watch John Oliver right after. I'd catch the end. I mean, I love Kate Winslet. I may go into that some a later time. I'm a Kate Winslet fanboy, admirer. You know, I've not seen all her movies though, but at one point I was trying to see all her movies in the mid 2000s. But I'd say this is one of, if not her best performance I've ever seen. I mean, it's a long, whatever it is, it's 6 episodes, so it's the better part of 6 hours plus of footage. But she, you know, she's dealing with just a ton of things between the loss of her son the year before, struggling in the town in Easttown, the community getting on her, not being able to find this missing girl who's been missing for like a year, and then what happens with the murder of another girl, and how they're tied in, and the different characters. I mean, there is a little bit of humor in it, which helps. I mean, I'm a Breaking Bad fan. I'm a fan, of course, of a lot of dramedies, Gilmore Girls, Psych, Freaks and Geeks, you name it. I'll go over that at some point later, but I have to admit that, you know, I hope she wins the Emmy. You know, I hope she does more stuff like this. I guess this is the first role she ever had to actually handle and fire a gun, which is weird. I know she played like either a lawyer or cop in The Life of David Gale, but I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I don't remember the exact details, but because she's like an investigator, a cop / investigator for the police department. But and even the accents I didn't realize they had to do. Jean Smart was a huge highlight in this show, even though she's not directly involved in any of the investigation. She's like the best comic relief on this miniseries, and yeah, the whodunit thing, I compare it to an extent to like the Veronica Mars miniseries from a couple years ago, where the culprit ends up being someone you really don't anticipate, and you'd assume wasn't there, and how it was twisted. But it also kind of reminded me of a couple other movies I was thinking about. One of them is In the Bedroom, the Tom Wilkinson, Nick Stahl movie from the early 2000s. I think Wilkinson got nominated for an Academy Award for, where it's sort of like this community of people, and then there's some sort of, there's extramarital affairs, and there's just, it kind of ends up hurting relationships of a small knit community of people that know each other. That one's in Boston, but it makes me kind of want to go back and watch In the Bedroom. But although In the Bedroom doesn't really have that much humor, but no, I mean it's very well done. The Brad Inglesby's the creator and writer. I looked at his resume. I hadn't heard of anything that he'd done, and he hasn't been working that long in Hollywood. So, but I would be curious to see what he does next. I mean, I probably would not have watched it had Kate not been in it, though, because there's a lot of miniseries that come out every year. A lot of these kind of stories, these plot-driven. I mean, I don't watch CSI or NYPD. I don't watch a lot of these sort of procedural shows the way a lot of people do, NCIS. I'm not really into a lot of those kinds of shows, and even movies, depending on who's the writer, who the director is. I'm not that aggressive, and especially the last decade, I haven't watched nearly as much of that stuff, but with Kate especially, it sort of pulled me in. And then I watched the first episode like a month ago, right around the time it was ending. People were talking about it. So, but yeah, you know, Mare of Easttown, you know, it's just a miniseries, unfortunately, because I think they could do more with the characters. There's definitely questions that were not fully answered. Like one being, I don't know, the guy who they caught with the girls. They really didn't get much into like a character motivation. Yeah, I kind of left. I kept on scratching my head, and I haven't seen anyone talk that much about that. Why was it just your stereotypical creepy, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer type or whatever, who has just like a, you know, is it just that? That's all he was supposed to be? I thought there would be interesting more. They could tie that in somehow with her son, but there was no connection there. You know, also the kid who believes Dylan, the Dylan character, his actions were very strange and they weren't fully explained. I mean, I was assuming he'd be guilty of something at the end, and he really wasn't. And also the fact that he was born to those parents who really didn't match his personality in the least. They didn't raise him well. I don't know. That was a little puzzling because the way his character was pretty on edge, stressed out and confrontational. He very much didn't. It didn't quite match him. Why did he? Where did he go? They were talking about where did he go that night of the missing of the girl that ended up getting murdered, Eric McMiniman. They didn't explain that. So there's a lot of stuff that I don't know. There's a Q&A with Kate. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I need to do some more reading and I can get some more of these answers. But then again, sometimes it's good when these kind of things have unanswered questions. It leads you to just kind of ask them and wonder and sort of make up in your mind what is the actual explanation. So I don't know. There could be deleted scenes, cut scenes, parts. Like I said, I was thinking. I posted online. This story could have been the culprit. Could have been culprit, or at least how it was actually framed and explained. Could have gone 10 different ways. Why were her clothes missing? That wasn't really explained either. And yeah, it's small town in Pennsylvania. Small town sort of where everyone knows what's happened, but all this stuff happens, and that story's been done before, but this was done really well, and credit to Kate. Kate just pulled it off. She, Anyway, I hope she wins the Emmy. I don't remember who she's going up against, but anyway, what's your thoughts on Mare of Easttown? I put it in sort of the Breaking Bad category in a sense of like in Better Call Saul in the sense that it's one of those interesting plot twist stories that you keep on wanting to find out what's going to happen, and you want to root for certain characters, even no matter their actions. And Kate pulls it off, I think. So anyway, but thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.